All right, everybody, welcome back to an art stream with me. It's a me. Anyway, should probably say my name. Ha, Taylor. Anyway, getting some water. I am finally gonna try and crank out this. I've been working on some stuff for Patreon, and I just want to crank out this throne sketch that I've been working on and just have been so completely displeased with just over and over again, and I just want to see it done. You know, I just want to see it done. So we are going to do the same thing I did last week, which is to break it down into kind of base parts. Well, not really base parts. Like you start with, it's really breaking it down to like what you want the pose to look like, and then building up on top of that, right? So it's gonna be a lot more schematic drawing and stuff like that. Let me find my character reference. Okay, so the first step is going to be figuring out what kind of pose we want them in. Now this is, for those of you who've watched a couple of my older videos, now I did try to just bang this thing out. God, it feels like forever ago. But I definitely made some attempts. So this is kind of an image of a wolf guy on a throne. And I do want to apologize for taking so long on this Patreon request. It has been... Seated poses are harder than I was expecting. So we're going to say that's the throne. Probably. You know what? I'm going to find a... I originally 3D modeled the throne, but my the license to the software for my 3D modeling, my license to the 3D modeling software has expired, so it's we're just having a time, you know. And it's not like a Game of Thrones throne. It's basically just a real fancy chair, isn't it? So I think, and I think based on the character being kind of this wolf guy, I think I just want to do a simple chair, and I want to do this, like, I forget it. I don't know if this is like a Dutch angle or whatever, but it's an angle, right? This is something that I actually didn't do for the arc scene last week. I kind of did the pose first and then established the scene, which is a little weird. But we're gonna build this guy a little throne room, right? Kind of stairs leading up to just where the throne is. Kind of that deal. I think that is actually going to be at a slight angle because of the angle we're at. So it's going to be like... It'd be like that, though. There we go. Something like that. And then we're going to put a nice pillar here. And probably we're gonna like we're gonna do just like a shadowy fade thing around the edges. Pillar there. And I gotta establish kind of where the light source is coming from, which I thought I wanted to have behind him, but that's so rough, man. Because I did like the idea of having a big window opening out into like some mountains or something that you can see like from behind the throne. Which I can still try. And you know what? If I give him enough windows, it should still illuminate the face. Kind of a Skyrim vibe, you know what I mean? So maybe I put a window there. I put like a bigger window here. And I know, well, I don't know because I've never actually beat Skyrim, whether or not a throne room like this exists anywhere in Tamriel, but that's not the point. Right? Right. God, I have that song stuck in my head now. I've been avoiding watching Promised Neverland because kind of the twist at the early twist kind of got spoiled for me, and I'm like, oh well, that's not going to be something I'm into, right? But I've been missing out because I just listened to Overworld's song, the opening song for Promised Neverland, and it is a banger. I tell you what, it is amazing. I just have that song on repeat like in my head right now, so I'm trying not to like just crank it up right now. Because, you know, don't want to get copyright struck or whatevs. So now we've got little steps kind of climbing up. I want to establish kind of more like a sense of scale, I feel like. It could be useful, so I'm going to put another layer, and we're going to say that a person, like a standing person, we're going to say that they're going to be like that, right? So they're going to be about that tall. And he is a bit of a ways from the throne, but it still feels like it gets a sense of scale, right? And of course, if he were like transposed over here, he'd be, you know, that tall. But that's not the point. Point is, we've got a sense of scale for the throne, so now we just gotta kind of figure out, or the throne room, right? So we gotta figure out how big the throne is. We're gonna give him a pretty good sized throne here, although I think that's in the wrong spot. Because let's see, the stairs go up, and then this is gonna be here. Probably need to go out to there. And then, because we are kind of arcing off to the left there, which means the back of the throne needs to actually kind of be situated towards the right. So, kind of like so. That's seems about right, because you're going to be sitting in it. I don't know if it's wide enough. I feel like it should be wider, but maybe not. And I'm not really actually sure I need all that space, you know? Because that's the other thing, is because this is a character piece, I've been struggling with how far I want to be from that throne, right? But the one neat thing is I can, of course, take this image and just zoom into this throne here. If I really feel like it's necessary. Or I could try a different angle. I've kind of liked that angle. Maybe if we bring... Stupid mouse. Maybe if we bring that up. More like that, right? And then scooch that over a little bit. Maybe that angle is a little too severe, so let's do that. Let's try that. That seems okay, actually. Okay. So now the kind of next important bit is establishing the character. And the seated position is going to be a little tough. Now, he is going to be, you know, shin, knee is going to be about there. So then his thigh is like there. I do want him to lean a little bit and have kind of an arm thing going on there. So actually, this is the hard part because I just haven't done a lot of seated positions before. But we're going to say the back of the throne's there, so his butt's kind of there, right? And then let's see, we're going to have one leg coming over here, one leg just being kind of more or less a straight on shot from where we are, and then we're going to have him lean this way. Right, so like that. I think is what we want to do. Do I want to do that more close up though? Because what? Oh, actually, you know what? I'm doing this in a really high DPI, so like that's 100% of the image right there. This is actually a pretty large image, so I can crop it into the throne if I want to, or size it up once I'm done. Of course, sizing it up can be a little tricky because it's not always exact, but that's okay. Okay. So, wow, I did not realize I was working in such a high DPI. But that's fine. You know, it's a character piece. Okay, so the next step, of course, based on what I've, you know, kind of figured out from last week, is to establish volume and more of the character's body type. And purple on purple is actually really hard to work with, but we gotta fade that out a lot. I'm gonna take the background away and work strictly on the pose now. So, and this character is, and I'm gonna work in a different pencil type because, or a different, different pencil type because that was dumb. What did I just do? I just tilted the thing. So we're gonna work. And this character is a little bit more robust, let's say. Not fat really, but you know, thick. You can definitely be thick without being like really fat or anything. Certainly possible. And then that would be his pectoral muscle there, and then this pectoral would be about there. And then let's see, that muscle kind of comes out of there. See, I got it stuck in my head. I can't. Okay, anyway. Then we're going to put his hand right there because why not? It's pretty reasonable. I don't know. Well, I don't know why his hand would be there. Why would his hand be there? I don't think it would be there. Let's do, you know what? Let me figure out the rest of this. Back muscle, and then let's see, so his kind of groin area goes down into there. That's going to be kind of the stomach panel here. And then the thigh is the thigh and the buttocks are actually really interesting because they're going to be more compressed. So they kind of gotta squash out a little bit, right? And then the knee. And the thigh. And for this character, he's kind of a wolf guy, so I'm gonna try and give him, you know, the paw things, kind of like that situation. Kind of ankles up here, you know, something like that. I'll figure out details in a little bit. And then this one comes out here, which again, you know, it has to make sure that some of it's compressed a bit. And then the knee is going to be about there, and then this is going to come out here, and we want it to be about the same length, so his ankle is going to be there. And then we'll figure out the rest of the foot. But for now, that'll be that. I'll figure out the rest of the foot in a bit. Because, let's see, knee, ankle, yeah, it works out. Next, the more kind of relaxed arm, it's going to be, you know, extended this way. And then the elbow is going to be about there, and then the arm is going to turn out, and he's going to have a hand right about here, because that's where we're going to put the armrest to the throne. Which, and since he's shifted out, you know what, we could put this arm also on the armrest, which would probably look a little bit like this. It's a little unambitious, but at this point, I just want to get this out into the world. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, he is a canine type character, so the skull is gonna be a little different than a person's. Cheekbones would be kind of about there. Put his eyes. And then his ears, you know, kind of there-ish. And there we go. So the next step is going to be that sort of more schematic drawing of the musculature that I did before. So like, you know, except we're going to need a new layer. There we go. So, you know, like the xiphoid process is like there. Ooh, yeah, big eraser. And yeah, I was trying to do more of a painty style before, but I think this is just gonna be a sketch, because I think for the sake of time, I need these Patreon things to just kind of be sketches so that I can, you know, do more of them that way. And then the muscle groups, very important. Giving that nice kind of thicker deal going on. With the neck. And shoulder. And I'm doing that pec too small. Of course, pecs are kind of weird. And then we got to give more kind of forward emphasis to his hips, because his, you know, hips are moving forward, obviously. And then we got these whole things. That's not quite right either. Okay, so here it is. So these are going to be going this way and then that way. They're almost kind of knit here. Is what that is. And it is a male character, so kind of gonna just approximate the groin, because, you know, we're not making that kind of thing. So just kind of approximate that. And then the buttocks. And again, that's going to be compressed. So it's going to be pushing outward more, and it's kind of squashed in. And that's kind of what's going to help give his hips that sort of look like they're kind of squashed. And we're going to do the same thing with the thigh, because that needs to be compressed too, because of how all that's working together. and the back of the knee, and then the front of the knee is kind of how I want to do that. And then again, there's that weird weird bit on the leg that kind of runs from, you know, kind of here to all the way across here. Which is going to help shape that a little bit. Same thing over here. Got the inner thigh. Which again, not a huge deal. And then we got the kind of back of the knee area, although I think I need to bring that closer to center mass here. So that's going to be where the knee cap is, right about here. And then the leg thing. That runs from the outside over here to the inside. Kind of there. Legs are hard. Okay, so we got the back of the knee and the sort of section where the knee attaches, right here. But then you also get all the stuff that's attached to that. And again, we put the ankle right about here. So this is going to end up looking kind of like that. Inner thigh, of course. Let's hollow that out a little bit. Right? Because we're attaching this muscle there, and then that's going to go onto that. That's going to be the ankle, and then this part here is going to be the foot. And then this is going to be the bottom of the foot right here. Or the ball of the foot. Actually, it's not the bottom, but the ball of the foot is going to be right there. And that's all I'm really doing. Is I'm not really extending his leg that much. I'm just kind of making his feet pointed. And I know people have different techniques for achieving that sort of hybrid look, but you know, werewolves and such. And I also know that this section is not making a whole lot of sense visually right now, but that's okay. And then the inside ankle bone, I believe, is higher than the outside ankle bone, just slightly, or yeah, higher up. So that's why I did that. And then the back of the foot there, and the ball of the foot right here. Then, of course, you got the interesting thing with the canine style toes. So ball of the foot should actually be more like that, right? And then what's going to happen is you're going to get these kind of big toe things coming off. I mean, they're not toe things, they are toes. Coming off that. but they're shaped kind of like this. So like from the side you have the foot pad, and then that's gonna be like the foot basically, and then you've got like almost like a weird finger that's like curled like that. If you have like hammer toes, it's basically that, and then the claw comes out from the top, or sometimes like towards the front. Or sometimes on cats anyway, it's like on the side. I think dogs are more like just on top of, or towards the front. So anyway, but that's not super important. The important bit is that it's a really weird, grotesque hammer toe thing, but it's like you just have 4 or 5 of them. I think 4. Yep. Yeah, that doesn't look about right. What am I doing? So the outside toe is going to be, so this is going to be the middle here, which means he's going to have a toe there, and a toe there, and a toe here. So yeah, actually that's pretty close to correct, because you're not going to be able to see that one very much. Okay. So basically like that. And I only have an hour to do this before I have to go and feed the cats and stuff, so we are doing okay on time, but there is a little bit of a time crunch. So more musculature, and then the elbow is going to be like right there, and then I'm just going to kind of approximate this. There's going to be some like bulgy bits, and then because there's going to be a twist in the arm, it's going to kind of come this way, and then end in a hand right about here. And I'm not going to get into the hand right now, because I like to do that a little bit later. Okay. That elbow's like in there, and then this kind of gonna be there, and then we're gonna put his other hand like so. And again, I'll do that hand after. Okay, next we do the face, and this is gonna be actually kind of simple. Because I've already laid the groundwork for a bunch of it. Again, cheekbone going to be about there, which means it gives him a little bit of a pocket there, and then that's going to be where his eye socket is, and that's going to be where his other eye socket is. It's just straight across from that. This is the bridge of his nose. This is the end of his nose. He's a canine, so the nose is pretty large. A lot of canine noses are. I gotta give him more space to the bottom here, because normally the chin would be like what, on a canine you'd have that, and then the chin would be like right there, instead of like this would be the bottom of the mouth, because they don't have a lot there. But because it's a, you know, an anthro character or whatever, gotta give him a little bit more of a chin, because that helps to make them seem a little bit more humanoid than not. And also got to bring that chin out a little bit too. Okay, so then we got kind of this brow ridge thing, and that's not going to be as accentuated as it is on Ark, because Ark's just got he's just got crazy caveman brow ridges, and that's part of his character design. Not so much this guy. And then the ears. And there you go. So we've actually established a good amount of that character. This would be the point where I'd come in and do the fingers on the hands. But I think I'm gonna, because I already have so much, like so many pixels on there, it's kind of hard to tell where that hand is, and the foreshortening and stuff, right? So this is gonna be the palm. And we're building the hand, and then this is the thumb. Because foreshortening is weird. And then if we attach the fingers like so, kind of, well, they're not exactly that oblong. It's a little ridiculous. But we do want to establish where the knuckles are, and since I'm gonna be curving this slightly, they're kind of gonna be there. We're gonna go ahead and approximate a bunch of this, and I'm seeing it like kind of like when you do like a well, I don't know that a lot of people do that, actually rest their hand like that. How would, if it were a stone thing, it's gonna be flat. I mean, I could see, you know, I could even see something like that where it's kind of curled. I'm testing out poses on my hand now. You know what? I kind of like that better too. So what I'm gonna do instead of what I just did, so good job me wasting time, is the palm is actually gonna be raised, because we're gonna have one finger here and one finger here, and then we're gonna have the thumb kind of swoop-de-doop, and create this, and you can try this, and then the pinky and the ring finger are gonna be more or less tucked underneath, and you can definitely try that pose and pull it off. I'm pretty sure it's a halfway decent pose for the hand. It's kind of just turned on its side, and a bunch of the weight is on the, like, outside of the hand versus the inside. And I actually want to bring those fingers out more. To make the pose make a little bit more sense. Kind of like that. Okay, that's fine for now. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in post. And the other hand I want to have actually curled around the throne, which I didn't forget was there. I'm just gonna have to do a little design work around it, but that does mean that this hand is gonna be laying more flat against the stone or whatever, or whatever he says. And then the fingers are gonna curl over the end of it. Hands always take just so much more effort. And of course all the fingers are gonna curl over the end of that. But I think I got the hand at the wrong angle. Because I want the thumb to be here. And that's going to be kind of curved down this way. And now I'm turning the hand a little bit more into a gesture. Hand gestures. It's not really a joke, but I just found it kind of amusing to think about how I phrased that. And then the wrist, and then that's gonna be a whole thing, and then this is gonna be a whole thing. And there we go. Alright, other than that hand being bigger than the hand in the that's actually closer to us, I feel pretty good about that. We're going to size this hand up a bit to match the other one, and of course, since we worked in kind of a fuzzy pencil, it's going to flake out on us. Well, not flake out, but it's going to lose line definition, and my ice cream has melted. Okay. What do we got? It's a warm day out. Okay. So the next step, now that we've got a stronger muscle definition, is to, of course, make a refined sketch. Now this character is sort of a brown, let's see, he's brown, he's white, he does have blue skin though, and so what I was trying to do is do like a fancy paint thing over the top of a blue thing, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to stick to his colors, and I'm going to draw him more in my style. I was experimenting with styles, and I really should do that on my own time instead of doing that with patron requests, because you guys already give like actual money to help me out, and I just need to be more appreciative of that and do the freaking job. Anyway, so anyway, that has nothing to do with what I was talking about. But we are going to draw this in sort of a purple, well, closer to like a reddish purple, because he's got the blue skin, but he's got the brown fur texture, and so I want the line work to have a good blend of that. I know, Kitty. I'm almost done. And then kind of the clavicle would be right about there. And this, of course, is sort of the more messy sketch. We're not getting into the real good sketch just yet. This is gonna be this is obviously more refined, but this is just sort of picking out which lines I want, that kind of thing. Maybe we take that back in. More like that. Might look a little weird. Hopefully not. Of course, that means the clavicle that I drew is slightly misplaced because that arm is up and that arm is down, which means you actually have the little divot in the collarbone is going to be closer to about there, which is actually about right for where the muscles are in the neck. And then that's going to be there. Now, technically, that's going to be like the front of the nose, and that's going to be back here. And then got to decide how I want to do his eyes, because the reference I was given has not small eyes, but they're not huge either. More like that size, I think. Although, definitely lower eye angle, more like that. And then the brow. Is not going to be nearly as crazy, like I said. Just give me a minute, kitty. I'm almost done here. Want to give him a little bit of a grin. which is kind of hard to do with a canine mouth because, you know, reasons. But I'm gonna try. Because the mouth is long, so it stretches back quite a ways. So I feel like to get the proper like that proper like smile look, I've gotta stretch it back even more. Like that, because the front of the mouth is, so you know, it's more of a stretch back than a like, because when we smile we stretch our mouths out, but that's because of the where our cheeks are placed and the muscles are placed, and now I'm making funny faces and you can't see what I'm doing, but you know, the dog's mouth muscles, or the wolf in this case, they're gonna be more back, so gotta a dog smile is gonna be pulled back more, is the point I was trying to make. Alright, let's see. How are we doing for time? Well, my cat is yelling at me for food, and we are about at the amount of time that I have for this today. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it here. The next step after this would be to add more character details, so that's where I would get into like the fur texture and stuff, but I will be doing that probably tomorrow, and then it'll be adding the throne in after that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, those of you who tuned in. I definitely feel like I'm getting more of a established style down, at least at like a pattern, that I feel like I can replicate on a regular basis, which is pretty important. I did do some experimenting before, but I think I really have something that I can work with that I'm happy with now. So, I will see you, and I'm receiving a phone call. So I guess that's my cue to end. I will see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye, friends.